How's it going, team? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope you guys are all having a great start to your morning. I'm going to be showing you guys the patterns that I'm seeing as of right now when it comes down to natural gas. I know a lot of you guys were focusing on a lot of tech earnings yesterday, and I'm super happy to hear that. It actually makes me, I think, so much more like comfortable when you guys do something that's like more of like something that I'm not doing, because again, you're using like your foundation and your eye for value to be able to like pinpoint and identify like what's something worthy for you to invest in. And I'm really happy that it's not even something that is even sparked by me. So that's super great to hear. And I'm gonna start sharing my screen in just 1 second. I have to pull up the little live chat so I can see your guys' messages. But I hope that you guys are all having a great start to your morning. I've been all over the place. Ultimately, I'm doing pretty good with my positions today, but I've just been struggling, at least for the past 1 hour of trading, to consistently stay um, like green. I don't know how to say it, but here we go. So here we go. All right. How are you guys all doing this morning? Good. Yeah, I was actually super surprised when I uploaded that vlog yesterday, like around 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I didn't know that you guys, I thought that day was pretty cool because I did some filming, which is not something that for another channel, which is not something that I do every single day. But my life is like extremely repetitive. Like I trade live, I make videos, and then I work with my group, my team for a little bit. We go to lunch, come back. It's the same thing every single day. So when you guys were asking for more vlogs, I think I would bore you guys so much. But yeah, so I'm really happy to have you guys here. Kind of looking at natural gas and where it's at right now. So you guys is trying to push up. Where's it at right now? 65. Okay, so it's still trying to push down. Let's look at /NG just because I think the direction is a little bit more clear. We're coming back to, let's check this out. Here we go. It's trying to catch a support on natural gas. It's trying to catch a support around, it's doing a really good job. It's trying to stay above 2.86. I made a mistake, so, and I do apologize for this. In the trade idea section, it's not that I made a mistake, it's that the previous support was 2.85. That's a very like risky support. In 2.85, it never actually touched that, so it did hold above 2.85, so in a sense, it is somewhat of a support, but it's really 2.86 where it's really like, so it's gone below 2.86, but this is normally where it reverses. And we could see here around 2.86, here, right here, and then a lot of consolidation right above 2.86. So I hope that it was, at least I presented an idea of like, okay, well, we're getting close to a support, that you were able to identify that, at 2.86, this is really where all the action happens, right? So yes, like it hit highs of 2.89 for like a second or a minute, but then it got rejected right away. So do you really want to sell at 2.89? Well, of course we do, but it doesn't mean that, it's realistic. Realistically, it's around like 2.87 to 2.88 where most of the activity for the resistance happens, right? So, and then there we go. Again, the EMA line is pushing right back up. So we might get a nice little uptrend here. Kind of just waiting out for a more clear direction of kind of like where I should go. So let's see this. Here we go. What do you think about the 1 hour chart on natural gas? Let's check this out. 20-day 1 hour chart. What do I think about it? We talked about this yesterday. We talked about it. That I saw this thing as trending down, but based off of like this little pattern right here where it did sell off a little bit and then it pushed right back up again, I think natural gas can potentially push back up to $3. I do think it's downtrending right now. So ultimately, it is a downtrend in my eyes. But yeah, it's like I do see it downtrending. I just think that just like anything else, as it's downtrending, it can have a couple of green days, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Here we go. Nice little uptrend, nice little cup that it's building, right? So it's building a lot of a lot of consolidation around this general area. So we might see a little break. Kind of still waiting out to see what happens on this. Ricky, do you ever study the displaced EMA study? Yeah, I used to use that specific indicator, but then I just stopped. I found just the exponential moving average, just the one that I have. I found it to be more effective to the stocks and ETFs that I trade. But that's my opinion and my style. So if you find the displaced EMA to be more effective, 100% go for it. What is going on, Daniel? What's up? What's up? Daniel, I see that you have a mustache. I'm trying to grow mine. Just kidding. I've been trying to grow it for like 24 years and still got nothing, brother. Yeah, so I'm just trying to wait for a little bit more of a clear direction of what's going to happen and stuff like that. So, what's going on, Neva? Mustache in 7th grade. That's hilarious. So are you green or red at the moment? I'm green on the overall day. Yes. Here we go. It's still doing a really good job. So one of the things that we should make very clear is that although, do you guys see like these times that it breaks below the EMA line, but then it pops right back up? It breaks below the EMA line, but then it pops right back up. Again, what's one of the things that we've talked about that like is like really important, right? So like when something is truly downtrending, you're gonna see like continuous like lower lows and stuff like that, right? So and then the overall EMA line will shift from pointing up to then pointing down. I think that's very easy to like identify at that point. And again, pushed right back up, and it's building a really strong resistance. We could push all the way up to 2.88. And we just have to understand that, right? The MACD isn't the most relative or most effective indicator right now, nor is the RSI. Look at all this that it has going on. It's just a lot of consolidation right now. I think we're all waiting for a market open. I just want to make sure that you guys are all aware that like sometimes people wait for just a one candle confirmation below the EMA line. In my opinion, this is why I don't think it's that effective, because it could break below the EMA line, and that doesn't mean that it's actually going to begin to sell off. If it was that simple and that easy, then, trading would be much easier, right? But that's just not how it works. The EMA line is an indicator that can assist you in understanding like its direction. So as of right now, the EMA line is still pointing up until we get continuous confirmation of this thing holding below the EMA line, kind of like this, even like this. And it doesn't mean that it has to sell off super aggressively, but I think it's clear to like just give it a little bit more like time for it to identify its direction. There it goes. Good morning. Good morning. What's going on, Landon? We got a little bit less than 3 minutes until the market opens. Can you review Roku? Yeah, let's do it. It's from the 180-day chart, right? So a lot of consolidation. It was trending below the SMA line, as a lot of stocks were, and then it recently started to trend above the EMA line. We talked about this before, where it's consolidating between $40 and $45, and there's no clear or like real like the progression that it's and moving up is not really there. So I would still give it a little bit more time if you wanted to like actively swing trade it. If you wanted to day trade it, then it's up to you. It looks like it is trading above the SMA line, and I would just look at previous highs and then just keep that into consideration on understanding when to sell it and stuff like that. Got a piece of Apple? No, but I did see the Apple earnings, right? I saw Apple with the huge push up. I saw Apple as it peaked out, so I kind of figured that it wouldn't last for that long. The other one was what's the other one that reported its earnings yesterday that did exceptionally well? AMD. Yep. There we go. We talked about AMD yesterday very quickly, right? Still pushing up. On this one, I'll just be kind of on high alert. It's consolidating right now, and yes, it can push up, but yeah, I mean, it looks like last time when it went through its earnings and it was pushing up that it consolidated for some time and then it actively started trading up. So just make sure that you're taking part of an active uptrend and stuff like that. 30 seconds until the market opens. Market opens in 1, 0. So again, looking at the ranges that it's trading at between 2.86 to 2.88. This is where a majority. It doesn't mean that it has to stay there. It just means that this is where a majority of the trading and the patterns are taking place. Can you guys all see that? Let's see. Tesla is pushing up, right? This isn't moving much. All right, here we go. Tesla again, just a reminder that it has its earnings today. Excited about that. Nice, nice. Let's make sure that we refine those trading best practices. Really strong push up on Tesla. Looks like, we built this reversal. Let's see. Boring stuff today. Let's see / NQ. Okay. A lot of what? Okay, I actually want to talk about this. What about this have we talked about? So natural gas, or not natural gas, /NQ, which is a NASDAQ future, right? It was showing signs of an uptrend, hit highs of about 6,800, right? What have we seen? It was progressively moving up, moving up, moving up, hit this resistance. It was making higher highs and higher lows. What is going on now? Oh, natural gas just broke above 2.88. So what I wanted to talk about on this again, and this is irrelevant if you don't trade these, but look at the way that the SMA line is trading, right? It was progressively pointing up, pointing up, pointing up. So was the pattern, and oh shoot, bless me, sorry about that. And then after it built this support and resistance around 6,600 to 6,800. Do you see the progression that it was moving up, making higher highs, making higher lows? But then after it hits 6,800, it pulled back, and now it's building this horizontal pattern, and now the SMA line is showing signs of a like resistance. Oh, thank you guys. Do you guys see that, right? So it was progressively pushing up, and then it began to consolidate. This is usually what you see when something is then about to continue or reverse, right? It doesn't mean that it has to. It just means that it could be a sign of something that is not or any longer showing signs of an uptrend. If we look a little bit more into it like this, then we could see it a little bit more clear where it was showing sign of an uptrend, and then it really just began to consolidate. So I think that's good to like pay attention to, just so you understand, and that's why I have my alert set below 6,600, because if /NQ sells off, then that means SQs should be pushing back up, right? So then I'll set my alert here as well. How many people are in UGAS, or how many people are in DGAS? How many people are not trading yet, right? So looking at previous patterns, and again, this is just previous pre-market patterns, and the direction can completely change. So please take and understand that. Please take note of that, right? This is kind of the highs during pre-market hours. You could all see that. You can do your own analysis. But right now, we're still above the EMA line. And conservative lows is around this general area, right? So yes, it does go below it sometimes, but it's good to identify this pattern, right? Either if it's ascending, if it's descending. I like to stay away from descending ones. That's just my opinion. And then horizontal, right? The low points, the high points, you know that you're getting a good deal. And again, if something is extremely bullish, then it could validate the EMA line as a support, and then it will most likely begin to push up like that. So as of right now, the SMA line was pointing down. It did have a nice push up. We'll have to wait and see what happens here. I do have somewhat bad news today, team, though. What's it called? I do have to finish this live stream at 7:45 today. So it's going to be like 30 minutes of trading, 15 minutes pre-market, 15 minutes after. But I do have something that I have to do right before 8 o'clock. So I do apologize for that. I think I'm going to wait to get into you guys. Okay, I like that. Again, I think the biggest thing, especially, we're still not below the EMA line. I think that's very clear. We're still not below the EMA line, but we're also, so because we're not below it, it's still in UGAS's favor, right? But UGAS is so overbought based off previous patterns that do I really want to try to make, less than 1% and waste the day trade on that? The opportunity cost just isn't there. The pattern's there and the uptrend's there, but the opportunity cost isn't there. So out of your criteria checklist, that one really, in a sense, in my opinion, isn't checked for me. Doesn't mean that it can't be. Doesn't mean that, if it continues to show signs of an uptrend and it validates the EMA line as a support, then great. It's following through with its pattern. Joel, I think that's, and I know that sucks because sometimes you feel like you're going through like FOMO and the fear of missing out because and when you're not trading, and all you think about is like all the money you missed out on, but also think about maybe some of the positions that you would have taken that would have turned into being red trades, and you're not down, right? So the less that you trade, the less opportunities you have to lose money. So don't just think about the offense, also think about the defense. And I think being able to say more no than yes is a great quality to have that a lot of people lack. So I think you're off to a great start with that. Yeah. So right now we are consolidating again, right above the EMA line. No true confirmation yet, but it doesn't mean that we won't. Looking at the RSI, we're pointing down right now, and the MACD is definitely showing signs of a downtrend. I'm gonna ask for like 1 quick second, and I'm gonna go blow my nose real quick because I'm having trouble speaking. Oh shoot! Fell on the wire. Here we go. We're starting to trend below the EMA line. And there we go. It breaks right back above it. Huge volume spike. Wow, that was huge. How many of you guys saw that huge DGAS buyer yesterday? Any of you? Tesla just made higher highs on the day. Huge. All right, it looks like we might be identifying the middle VWAP as a support. Let's see. At the end of the day of DGAS, yep. Close to the end of the day. Nice little spike down. That was really quick. Watch out with this SMA line. The SMA line is the one that I'm most concerned about. The SMA line is always the strongest, because it's the slowest moving. I feel like it's always the strongest support or resistance. Let's see. A lot of you guys are also. I did see PCG being talked about quite some bit. 20-day 1 hour. A lot of consolidation. Super overbought. It's not making higher highs anymore. I would be careful on that one. Tesla making higher highs on the day. It should be trading between the middle and top VWAP based on that pattern. So, yeah, really strong push up. If you see. Yeah, it's a little bit more on the overbought side. I wouldn't say the margin is huge, but it might be worth it for some people, especially for those that want to play a little bit more conservatively. But it's a little bit more on the overbought side right now. Can you look into UWT? Of course. Heck no, I cannot look at UWT for you. How dare you ask that question? DGAS just broke above. So natural gas is now, as of right now, trying to make lower lows. It looks pretty solid. It looks like it's following that panel or that pattern that we've identified during pre-market hours, which is really rare. So on UWT, what would you guys say? A very strong kind of like consolidation period right here with a horizontal support, horizontal resistance. It's not really making higher highs. So again, like you could scalp it within that margin. It looks a little bit more on the overbought side based off that horizontal pattern. I would wait for either it to be back at support to be able to sell it back at the resistance, or wait for a break above resistance. Holy. I made a whole $28. Do you guys remember when I was like, I'm in on you guys? And I was like, I'm out on you guys. I sold, got in way too early. Here we go. Looks like I won't be getting filled. Yep, there it goes back down. Natural gas picking back up. Just trying to. Again, some of you were asking about the channel that I was talking about, as in like the pattern that it followed the same pattern that it had during pre-market hours. What do I mean that? What do I mean by that? Overall support around 2.86, overall resistance around 2.88, and it looks like it followed pretty nicely. There it goes, sold. Sweet. Oh shoot, I had more shares? What the? And of course, when I sell, it continues to go up. What's new? But again, I could only really, like, I can't, this thing can shoot up to $91, and trust me, like, it will irk me, like, inside. But realistically, like, just imagine if you were a robot, right? No emotions, no hopes or desires, just trading based off of patterns, because I'm a technical trader, so that's how I'm wired, right? So I see this pattern of the low points, high points, low points, high points, low points. It makes sense to buy around this general area, and it makes sense to sell around this general area, because that is what the previous patterns have told me, especially if I'm wired in a conservative way, right? With that being said, like, does it make sense that I sold here? It does to me. And right now I can try to get into ticker symbol UGAS, because DGAS is at the resistance. But as of right now, I'm up $1,119. And just to let you guys know, that last entry point was not my best. I think I was up like $1,110. It was a really bad entry point when it was like pulling back a little bit. So I pretty much broke even. I think I made like $9 or something like that on it. But my commission is, so you guys can check out my commission. My commission is $3 each way. So $3 to buy, $3 to sell. Again, I've made a video talking about how to lower your commissions. You just have to negotiate with TD Ameritrade. But again, I didn't even care if I took a little bit of a loss on DGAS. I just knew that my entry point was like icky. I saw the SMA line pointing up, so I thought we could continue to make higher highs. And I was like, okay. Right now we're consolidating. And again, I'm not really I shouldn't be trading off of DGAS. I should be really looking at this. And at least as of right now, I like the MACD. I like the RSI for natural gas. Does that make sense? We're all good there, right? So I'm going to close out the live stream here, but I just wanted to leave you guys with that this is its current pattern. Again, overall direction for natural gas on the 20-day 1 hour is still trending down, right? But I still think that if we do break above the EMA line and we really start to, if we really do break this barrier, this resistance that we're experiencing at 288, I really do think that it can hit highs of $3 for natural gas, which would be in favor of you guys. But again, it doesn't matter what I think or what I hope for until the pattern is proven, right? So as of right now, we're still consolidating. So guess what? This is what I'm trading as right now. Yeah. So 748. I do apologize. I do have to head on now. Holy crap. I apologize for my language. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen this. So I guess I'm going to do a review on it a little bit later. But this is the beginning part of Trade Olympics. Yeah, I'll show you guys a little bit of it later. But yeah, it tracks your trades. For those that have TD Ameritrade, it tracks your trades automatically. And there's a lot of cool different things that we're going to be able to do and stuff like that. But I'll keep you guys up to date on that. I am so thankful for each and every single one of you for just absolutely killing it. Again, I know it's hard. But it's like the more conservative you are, and this is just in my eyes, and I know that's very opinionated, and I'm sorry about that, but I just have seen that the more selective that you are, and the more like reluctant you are to like take as many trades as possible, the better. Be selective. Think of yourself as like an investor or a robot, right? You only trade based off of what you can make sense of. Forget about your emotions. When your emotions come into play, that's when you can make a lot of mistakes. Yes, maybe sometimes it did play out in your favor, but long term, it probably won't work out that way. And again, it's a tough pill to swallow, but you guys all freaking got this. You guys all know what it is that you guys have to do. It's just practice, and be empowered to learn. The money will come later, but you just can't discourage yourself. So remove the monetary aspect, remove trading with everything that you have, and try to make the most money now. Again, your time will come. This is not a make it or break it. You guys all invested in Learn, Plan, Profit for a reason. And I'm here to remind you that you guys can make it happen, especially with learning the concepts of investing and trading. You guys just need to take a little bit of a step back and be empowered to learn. Your time will come. We have nothing but time, and just note that. So thank you guys again. Hope you guys all have a blessed rest of your Wednesday. Continue working hard. Continue following dreams. Let your passion be what drives your success. Make someone smile today. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.